I wouldn't call myself an activist. I just want to be a person who's just trying to make a little change.
All right, we're back on the Charcha-Cast, and look who we have today. It's world-famous mom and actress Karisma Kapoor. Hi. Thank you so much for coming on today and making some time to join us. You know, I introduced you as a world-famous mom and then actor, but that was at your request. So why are you a world-famous mom first and actor second?
Honestly, I think motherhood kind of changed me, and I think all my awards on one side or achievements on one side and being a mom is on the other. So I think it's the most important thing for me in the world. I love being a mom, and so that's why.
Okay,
Yes.
Good deal. And so I would assume that must have led you into some of your current activism. And I should say first, do you like the word activist?
Not really.
Okay, I get this a lot. This is interesting though. Why?
Honestly, I wouldn't call myself an activist. I just want to be a person who's just trying to make a little change.
Okay.
A tiny little bit of a change, or just spread the word, doing my little bit, as we may call it, in society, being a responsible, citizen, a responsible person. So just that.
Okay, and you picked the environment. The environment is something you're very passionate about.
Well, yes, definitely. I think, Mother Earth is, the most important thing around. And it's something that, we leave for generations to come, our children, our grandchildren, the future. So we must try and contribute in some way.
Okay, and so talk a little bit about some of the things that you've done in sort of your career and how you've used your celebrity to sort of advance this.
Well, activist and celebrity term is something.
You don't like? Oh, come on! I'll give you activist, but I think you're way beyond celebrity at this point.
Actually, even though I come from a family and generations of actors, and I'm the fourth generation, but I still, just want to be a normal person somewhere. Yes, and that's what's important to me. And so, I started my career when I was really young. So obviously at that time I didn't get a chance to kind of do the kind of things that I may want to today, and may have an opportunity and the speaking power maybe to bring out there. But like for the environment, small things like even like in our locality, like even when Mr. Bhamla contacted me years ago and was like, I love the environment, I'm very passionate about it, would you like to participate in this? And I was like, yes, I want to make the time to do small little things, like even say plant a tree. We tell our little children, there was like a small thing, like I once had a birthday party for my kids and the return gift was a little plant. And obviously they're children and they're babies, so they were like, Auntie, where's the gift?
Yeah.
Like this is a plant. So just explaining to them that you need to nurture this, you need to treat it well, you need to grow a lot of plants and a lot of trees around, and it'll make a huge difference to everything. So even doing small things like that, I think, of being a mother has given me pleasure.
It's funny you say it. I have a young daughter as well, and she recently got a return birthday gift that was a plant. And she loved it. She came back and said, let's go water this. And so I think there's some kind of generational shift happening.
Absolutely. I think children today have become much more aware. And I think it's because of the people who are speaking out. Of course, it's also the social media and so many things to read up about, which is in a way a good thing. So there has been a huge generational shift. And like today, like my kids will say, hey, the tap is running, may say that to the staff at home, or sometimes to me. I may be taking a call and she's like, put the tap off, so
yeah.
It makes a huge difference, and that's a good thing.
Good. And you mentioned Mr. Bhamla earlier. That's in reference to Asif Bhamla from the Bhamla Foundation, which does really incredible work for the environment. Talk a little bit about your relationship with the Bhamla Foundation.
Well, like I said, when Mr. Bhamla explained to me what all he was doing, and I remember years ago, he was like, we're having World Environment Day. And I was like, wow, this is a new concept for our city, for our neighborhood. And I remember the first time I went, it was just near my house outside, on Carter Road. And there were so many people out there. So it just showed us the passion that people around were having. And I think since then I've always tried to, go every year and be there. And, then even my kids were like, Mama, where are you going? We go for a lot of events, a lot of things. And I was like, no, but this is for the environment. So I think it started making them also a lot more aware. And that's nice that people are coming out and supporting things like this.
Do you see that trend also sort of in the industry as well? Do you see that on the set?
Yes, I think there are a lot of people who are speaking out. I think the way they consume electricity, the way like even the air quality, the kind of things that are happening on set also is making a difference. Be it even from the environment point of view, and also if I may say so. Like in my new show that's just come out, like we're primarily a woman crew.
Oh, great.
So, I think that also dynamics is changing a lot around.
Yeah, we spoke to someone here recently who was talking about women in the film industry and how obviously in front of the camera there's all kinds of roles, but this sort of behind the camera persons and grips and all of this, there's still a dearth of women. But you see some of that changing?
Well, absolutely. I think like for me, primarily, even me, I have a female crew, like be it makeup artist, manager, and so many people are female today, hairstylists. So that's so wonderful. And that's a huge change than when I was working in the 90s.
Yeah.
That time there were many more men than women. And now it's becoming a much more safer environment. Like there are so many women coming out, working, in front and behind the camera as well, which is so good.
So that's interesting. You said it's a safety thing. Do you think that was what put it over the edge, or?
No, I just feel maybe earlier, like 20 years ago, people were like, this is Bollywood, this is, the big bad world of movies, which it isn't. It's a beautiful world of movies.
I see, okay.
So a lot of people had reservations, but obviously they've realized that it is a beautiful place to be at. It's an artistic field to be in. So there's so many young girls coming out and working and being part of our crew, which is so wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. Looking now, obviously you've been doing this since a very young age. You come from a long family of actors and directors. What other shifts have you seen from when you began until today?
Well, there's a good and a bad too, a different kind of side to it. But earlier, I think things are a lot more organized today. We kind of made movies on passion and on a whim. There were days like we kind of didn't even know exactly what was happening, but we just had to wing it.
Yeah.
Today, I think things are a lot more professional, a lot more structured, a lot more, organized in that sense. So that was also wonderful, and this is also really good, because today when I go to work, I know exactly what I'm doing and, what time I'm going to be there, what time's the call time, and when I'm coming home.
Sure. I think it was Veer Das had told us something about in the old days you used to get a script book and there was like a read, and then that was like the key moment of whether that film was going to get made or not.
Well, honestly, I've never kind of had a script book.
Right.
Honestly, like we would have the director would come and the producer would come tell us the story. Kind of, some directors were so creative they would act it out.
Yeah.
And tell us dialogues of what we would be speaking, and we would say yes or no on instinct.
Wow.
But today you have like a bound script with dialogues not changing. Like it was a totally different time.
Do you think the term Bollywood, do you take like any offense to that or anything? Because I've heard this too, that people don't like.
Honestly, I don't. I think it's very it's nice. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's you should be proud about it. That we there's Hollywood in the West and we have Bollywood.
Sure.
And there's a Tollywood also.
Yeah, right.
Yes, so yeah, it's sweet.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the Oscars, obviously. A foreign film won for the first time.
Amazing. Yeah.
Frankly, saw a lot of navel-gazing in the newspapers here in India. And again, this is me as a foreigner just trying to observe things and understand. But within the media, there seemed to be a certain amount of, we've got these huge industries in India, right? You've got Bollywood, Tollywood, and yet here's this film from South Korea that did amazingly well. I mean, do you see a shift to more, I don't want to call them Oscar-friendly movies, but a time when an Indian film is going to win an Oscar?
I think it's just around the corner.
Okay.
I would say that.
Okay.
I think even at that time, I shouldn't say that. the kind of films that are being made today, the kind of storylines, and they are being recognized. And I think our turn is round the corner.
Okay, good deal. Yes. So when you get a script now, you say you're doing a web series right now,
which has just come out.
Which sounds very interesting. But when you get a script for something like that, are you in a position now where you're sort of like, maybe yes, maybe no?
I've actually, all these years, there was a time that I didn't work. It was out of choice. Like I said, I wanted to be home. I wanted to be with my kids. I didn't want to take out 100 days of the year, to be on a film set and, promoting and things like that. So yes, I think today it is a wonderful touchwood position to be in, where I can pick and choose what I want to do. And that's, I think I've been lucky and blessed that I've been, me and my sister and my cousin brother, like we're, currently working today in, after so many generations of being in the movie line, and we're kind of continuing our family legacy, and we've had an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful to the audience who have given us this opportunity to do that.
Okay, so that begs the question, you get to pick what you want to do. Why did you pick this one?
So, like I said, motherhood is so important to me. And when I read the script, I felt it was so relevant of what I was going through every single day. Like, the craziness, the madness, the happiness, the sadness, the guilt, the insecurity that a mom goes through. Mm-hmm. And each episode has a story to tell and a learning behind it. So I think there's so many women, young moms, older women, mothers to be, who can have a learning from my experiences and experiences that are taking place on this show. Like we've dealt with, sensitive issues, be it bullying, be it gender, be it surrogacy, adoption, single parenting, just so many issues, which maybe some women in India, men in India, families find taboo. But maybe they can, get something out of this show. So that's why it was really important to me to be a part of this.
Do you look at any of that as a risk? I mean, if you're going to be taking on, and again, I don't know anything, but I know image can be important, right? Do you feel there's any risk in sort of going after these topics?
No, absolutely not. I think, literally I've grown up in Bollywood, like, people have seen me, my first movie released before my 17th birthday, like 5 days before. So people have seen me grow up in the industry. They've kind of, seen me for so many years that they identify with me. And I wanted to tell a message out there. I wanted to tell them that, you're not alone. I'm here to share your happiness, your sadness, your everything with you, So that's what it was.
I like that. That's a theme we hear a lot too in some of these other areas, is this idea that you're not alone and how important that is, especially for young people.
Absolutely.
Do your children watch your movies and films, and do you watch it with them? And is that weird?
Honestly, my kids don't watch my movies. My daughter, hardly. My son now has started, and I wanted it to be that way. I want them to, I don't want to influence them. They should make their own decisions in life. So, I never wanted to kind of influence them that, you come from this family. It's been a family tradition. Do it. You do what you want to do. So I've always been a parent that I want them to make their own decisions, and I will support whatever they want in life.
Yeah.
So, now, for example, since we were also talking on the environment, my daughter did a beach cleanup during her camp. So she chose to stay in Mumbai. Other kids went out of town.
Yeah.
And she chose to be in Mumbai for 4 days and went all around Mumbai on the beach cleanup.
So it wasn't just Dadar or something, it was all over?
No, all over. They went to Mahim, they went to Dadar, they went to Juhu.
Yeah.
Each day was a new place. So, I really kind of pushed her. I was like, no, you have to do this. This is important. You have to do it. So, encouraging, I think, young individuals, young children to do things in a fun way.
Sure.
But to contribute to the environment is also important.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, it sets an example for their peers and all the rest of it. Although,
and she really enjoyed it, which I was really happy about.
God bless her for enjoying it. Because I've been out on the beach there, and it gets warm. Yeah, exactly right. Very cool. All right, we can probably leave it there, I suppose. I know you're busy, but world famous mom, proud mom, actress. Remind me of the show that's out right now.
It's called Mentalhood.
Mentalhood, and it's on.
It's on Alt Balaji and Z5.
And Z5. Okay.
Streaming now.
Awesome. Cool. Good deal. Karisma Kapoor, been a real pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.